16 men, all passed. But the Navy only commissioned 13. The other 3? Sent back to the enlisted ranks with zero explanation. This wasn't an accident. This was calculated. Welcome to the story of the Golden 13 and the Navy's darkest social experiment. January 1944. Great Lakes Naval Training Station, Illinois. According to the U.S. Naval Institute, 100,000 black sailors served in the Navy, yet not a single officer was black. Under pressure from First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt and civil rights leaders, the Navy reluctantly agreed to commission a dozen black officers. But here's what they didn't tell those 16 men selected for training. The Navy expected them to fail. The normal officer training program? 16 weeks. According to Wikipedia's historical records, the Navy cut it in half. Just 8 weeks for these black candidates. Naval historian Paul Stilwell documented in his book, The Golden 13, Recollections of the First Black Naval Officers, that this was deliberate, designed to create a 25% failure rate, exactly like white officer classes. But these 16 men weren't having it. Samuel Barnes later revealed their strategy. We decided not to compete with other members of the group, so we had many study sessions together. We knew that we were the foot in the door for many other black sailors, and we were determined not to be the ones who were responsible for having the foot removed. They covered the windows of Barracks 202 and studied through the night. When test day came, all 16 passed with flying colors. The Navy's response? Accused them of cheating and forced them to retake every exam. According to Great Lakes Naval Training Station records, they scored even higher the second time, achieving a class average of 3.89 out of 4.0, a record that still stands today as the highest of any naval officer class in history. But here's where it gets sinister. All 16 passed. Every single one earned their commission. Yet on March 17, 1944, as documented by the U.S. Naval History and Heritage Command, only 12 were commissioned as ensigns, and 1 as a warrant officer. Lewis Williams, J.B. Pinkney, and Augustus Alves were sent back to enlisted duty with no official explanation ever given. Naval historians now believe the truth. The Navy deliberately withheld commissions from 3 qualified men to bring the success rate down to 81%, matching the average pass rate of white officer candidates. It was a social experiment. The Navy couldn't let black men appear superior to white men, even when they'd proven they were. And the humiliation didn't end there. Those 13 who did receive commissions? According to Politico journalist Dan Goldberg's research, they were denied access to officers' clubs because of their race. White sailors refused to salute them. They were given menial assignments, patrolling waters and converted yachts, giving lectures on venereal disease, never seeing combat. The Navy had black officers in name only, but these men persevered with quiet dignity. Only one, Dennis Denmark Nelson, made the Navy his career, retiring as a lieutenant commander after writing a 1948 master's thesis titled The Integration of the Negro into the U.S. Navy, that became a published book in 1951. The others became judges, attorneys, educators, and business leaders, proving in civilian life what the Navy refused to acknowledge in uniform. In 1977, it was Dennis Nelson who tracked down the surviving members and hosted the first reunion in Monterey, California. That's when Navy Captain Edward Sechrest gave them the name that would honor their achievement forever, the Golden 13. These men didn't just break a color barrier. They shattered it while the Navy actively tried to make them fail, while 3 of their brothers were sacrificed to a racist quota system, while every indignity imaginable was heaped upon them, and they still succeeded. What's the most powerful lesson from the Golden 13? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this story opened your eyes, hit that follow button, because we're exposing more buried truths that'll shake your understanding of American history. Share this with someone who needs to know that excellence doesn't need permission. It demands recognition.